The Powkiddy X35 was one of the early hits for Powkiddy, a company that up until that point previously had not had a great track record, including quality control problems. But the X55, with its nice form factor and fit and finish and improved quality, along with a stylish design, won the hearts of many gamers who were willing to give the company a chance. Now, 2025, they've released the X35H, a model that looks like a 3.5-inch version of the X55. Having the same svelte form factor, will this be able to be another hit for them? Or will the ghost of past continue to haunt Powkiddy? Let's take a look and dive in and unbox the just released X35H and find out if this is another magic or a dud. Let's begin. However you choose to travel, we'll keep you moving forward. Enterprise. No, wait, I'm not a car salesman, retailer, whatever those guys do, and I don't rent cars. Hey, deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new deadheads. Oh, looky there. It's our newest delivery. So, what do we got here? We got something from Mang Zhao. Well, thank you, Mang Zhao. So let's see what's inside of here. I'm pretty sure this is our Powkiddy X35H, but through the magic of editing, let's get this thing open. All right, so first initial impressions. We've seen a sort of box like this before, this X line. And so it's a nice box, and it has the unit on front with the Powkiddy. Here on the side, we have a little bit more showing the side of the unit. Over here, we have a barcode and some execution standards. Oh, guys, who are we executing? I don't know. And then, again, the other side of it. One of the things I like about these boxes is that it does have the magnetic flip. So it's pretty interesting that this packaging is sort of a little bit more premium feeling. When this handheld itself may not be necessarily aimed at a more premium market. So upon opening that, we do have, looky there, a screen protector on top. So that's pretty nice. Again, moving with the theme of this looks nice. I like how this looks once we're opening it. Let's get that out of the way. So we do have our USB A to C, the typical white, so nothing exciting there. Let's get this out of the way here. And we have our quality control. Okay, so quality control. And then we have our manual. And so please read the instructions carefully before using. A safe deadhead. So here we go. Here's the manual. That looks like that opens up more, but it doesn't. Here's some precautions. Do not severely impact the host. Guys, remember, do not impact the host. Please not come in contact with chemicals. Man, they really care about you. A lot of errors here. You got a function. Sound like something Adam Sandler would say in The Water Boy. We're going to do some function. Bobby Bouche, function introduction. Anyways, so yeah, we got that. Basic functions, low battery power. Video output. So it looks like it does some video output. So that's good. So anyways, manual's kind of error prone. This is an interesting little way to present it. Like I said, this is pretty nice. I like the way that the packaging has been presented here. No complaints with it. I think they did a good job with the presentation of it. But we all want to get to the meat and bones of it and check out this handheld. Hey, deadhead, sorry to interrupt the video. I'm sure you were enjoying it, but I want to take a moment to share with you a product from our sponsor, from Aliexpress. We want to thank our friends at Aliexpress for sending us. We all know that recently the TrimUi brick has become a very popular handheld because of a lot of things, but one of them things is the fact that it has these replaceable caps on the back, as you can see here. And Aliexpress is selling these additional caps you can buy and purchase, such as these see-through caps that we have picked up here to put on our brick. They come in a nice packaging, as you can see, and you get a set of 3 with different sizes and types. So if you think there's something you want to do to customize your brick and have a little fun with changing out the keycaps, then make sure you check out the link in the description so you can check these out for yourself in case you want to pick one of these up. Anyways, guys, let's hop back into the video. All right, there she is, boys. All right, so we have a really nice looking handheld here. I gotta say that it looks really nice. First impressions here. We do have a 3.5-inch screen, 640 by 480. So as I put the specs up there for you to look over, this is a Rockchip 3566. So again, we know how well it'll perform, and it's amazing. A year ago, the 3566, you had to spend close to $100, and these are now hitting at the $50 range. So really impressive they've been able to drive the price down here, and this feels really good in the hands. It'll stand up there. So let's just take a look at this. It's light, but it doesn't feel super cheap or anything like that. We have, oh, the sticks are nice. Okay, let's start with the sticks. There is a nice little texture there, and these feel better than your typical Switch sticks. They almost, dare I say, feel like the Magic X sticks. So that's very interesting. Looks like we have some better sticks. These are definitely better than your typical Switch style. They are clicky, they click in, so that's good. They are both on the bottom. This is perfect for retro. For what the 3566 can do, I think D-pad up top is very appropriate. This has got a nice size to it. One of the things that we loved about the X55 was it was very comfortable to hold. And let's do our button testing. So a little bit loud, but they feel pretty good. They feel independent. I don't see the other buttons rattling around when I press them. So your start and select are not too loud, so that's not bad. Start and select sound pretty good. And no function button on the front here or anything. You just are at home, you just have start and select. So that's one thing to notice. And as always, let's do the D-pad. All right, nice D-pad. Okay, yes, D-pad is good, feels good. It's got a nice pivot to it. So I think the D-pad's going to be decent. Buttons are good and decent, and these sticks, so far the sticks are the things that have impressed me the most. Let's move up top. And this has sort of the same sort of shape of the buttons on top that the X55 had. And I didn't like them on the X55, but this is smaller. And so holding this, my fingers sort of naturally rest around it. And so I got to say, I think I like it on this size. Let's try them out here. Not too loud. A bit clicky. But not bad. Good travel distance, good distance between the two. So then we, continue on, we have our volume. We do have our HDMI. So we do have HDMI out, mini. We have OTG on this. And then we have dual slots with 2 cards. So I ordered the 16 with no games, but it looks like they gave me some games. So, and then we have the headphone jack and our DC right in the center. So this can be good for docking. On the back, very reminiscent of the X55. Very nice. This is a nice transparent blue. We can see the battery there. This is a nice looking device. So, guys, gotta say, first impressions. It feels nice. It's definitely pocketable with the inline shoulders. It's going to be very pocketable, and it feels pretty nice to hold. So, definitely don't have any issues there with that. So, that's good. Very good with that. So let's take this thing out and let's do a little testing with it. It does have the new Powkiddy OS, so we're going to try that, and we're going to see if we can get some custom firmware loaded on this. So let's move on. What have we learned about the Powkiddy X35H? So we've unboxed it and you've seen it unboxed and we went over it, and I was pretty impressed with the quality of the handheld, the way it feels, the fit and finish. The analog sticks are way improved. They're not as good as the Retroid or Magic X, but they're better than what we usually see on a handheld like this. The hardware seems to be good. The size and weight is good. They also launched this with their new Powkiddy OS. Now, this is an OS that is meant to be simple to use and easy to pick up and play. And just like Anbernic has done with their OS, I want to shout out to Powkiddy and encourage them to continue to develop this OS. As I use this OS, I was using it from the point of view of someone that is brand new, that hasn't ever really gotten into emulation and tried to use it that way. And I found it to be somewhat intuitive, although rough at the edges. So first of all, there is no home, menu button, function button. You have to click the sticks in together to get to the menu. I'm sure that's in the manual. Most people are not going to read the manual, so that may be a little implicit, but you know, it's kind of like it should be maybe at a price point they're asking of $60, put a little button on there, a function or something. So that's one critique I have of it. Once you're in that menu, it is pretty straightforward, and it gives you some functionality such as able to change the sort of overlay or scan lines. You can put it and have the different shaders. You can also change the aspect ratio. Now it launches with this ugly stretched out filled screen aspect ratio. So guys, if you're just now getting into emulation and you're just now picking this up, it's going to stretch everything out. And these retro systems were not all at the same scale or level. So you're going to want to go into that menu and actually change it. So something like Game Boy Advance, you're going to want to change it to a 3:2 aspect ratio so that you are going to get a more authentic look for it. Now, of course, you'll have borders because of that. This is a 4:3 screen, but if you do that, you're going to have a more authentic, better looking experience. Now, there's not a lot of settings to fool with. You can change the time or set the time on it. There is a couple of settings in Neo Geo, but pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Again, if the aim is to pick up and play and make this as simple as you can for someone that is looking to just pick up and play, it's great. But Powkiddy, like Anbernic did, you need a RetroArch section. I couldn't find any way to get into RetroArch, so you're locked out of RetroArch. Now, I get it. For inexperienced players, they're not going to really understand RetroArch, but they need to learn. So I advise you, as you update this, throw in RetroArch, just like Anbernic did. I think it's a good solution to have both, so that's another criticism I have of this. The games played well. The Rockchip 3566 is a very versatile CPU. We're seeing a whole lot more of them. You used to see them only at the above $100 level. We're seeing them come down to this $50 level. But another gripe I have, no Wi-Fi. I mean, come on, guys, at $60, if this thing is going to compete, if this is going to be something that is going to compete in the range, you either got to drop this price. We got to get down into that R36 price. I mean, this isn't even a 4-inch. It's a 3.5-inch screen, a 640 by 480. We got to be at that $35 to $40 price point, and this thing's launching at $60 with no Wi-Fi. In fact, it does support OTG. However, I couldn't get Wi-Fi going anyways because the OS doesn't support it. So I don't know if the CPU would support it. I mean, I know Rockchip 3566 CPU should support it. So again, I don't understand the lack of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on this thing. Now, one cool thing is you can use another controller, and they actually built in pretty decent controller settings. So as you look here, I had a little one-on-one with myself playing with the controller in 2-player mode. So that does work and functions well. So we'll give them that. But again, this is the first launch of their OS, and if you're judging it based on their initial launch, it's a good start, okay? I think there's a long ways to go. I haven't been able to get any custom firmware loaded on this because I wanted to get this unboxing and the first impressions out, pretty quick. But I'm going to do a full review on this in a couple of weeks. There's a lot of handheld shipping with this shape and size that are coming out that are going to be competing for this market. And so I'll do an updated review as I play through this more. But my initial impression of this is that this is a solid, well-built hardware with a very kind of rough OS, except if you are in the I just want to pick up and play and I don't know anything about emulation. it needs a menu button. The biggest concern here is it doesn't have an intuitive menu button to get in the menus. And once you're in there, it is pretty nice on what you can do to keep it. It also just launches everything just stretch, so know that. So many people may not even know that you can change your resolution on a game like this. So anyways, I want to know what you guys think in the comments, and let me know what you're thinking. I've got some pretty favorable initial impressions of this, but it's a crowded market. The 3566 should have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It should have, this OS should have a menu button built into it. And other than that, it's off to a good start. So it's sort of like some of the other handhelds. It might get a lot better. Now, I do want to shout out to Gamma. He did mention after looking at this that he thinks he can get Gamma Core getting on this. Now, if we can get Gamma Core on this, we get Android on this thing, and we get Wi-Fi working with a dongle, that's more interesting to me. Even without Wi-Fi, Android would be more interesting to me. So again, this might be a really great system in a couple of months. Right now, $60 is quite a bit to ask for a very basic OS that doesn't allow you to do any downloads. There's no themes. You can't do anything much with it. And so if you want to pick up and play a game system, the R36S or even Anbernic's offerings are a little more polished, because this is the Anbernic price we're asking. And while I think Powkiddy can elevate up into that space and compete directly with them, we need to have a little more. If Anbernic launched this, it would have Wi-Fi, it would have a menu button, and it would be, you know, this would be competing with it. Anyways, guys, remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones, because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Dead Fred out.